All right, good morning, folks. Another 9:05, and we are back with our regularly scheduled streams. So, trying to get things a little bit back to normal. So, what are we doing today? What are we doing today? What are we doing today? We are doing a Chimera, which we started before all kinds of junk got derailed for about a week. So, let's just pop on over to good old Zbrush. See what's going on. So here's where we left off. We had this guy going on, and let's delete that. That's just a old reference piece. So we had this guy going on in here where I had worked up the lion portion of this, and this is being sculpted with the intention of going to a miniature, tabletop miniature for D&D. So the next two pieces we need to this, or next elements we need to this, are going to be some kind of a snake element and a goat. So let's just I'm so tempted to like I'm so tempted to throw Tom McDonald's head on here and say, here's the goat. Oh, inside jokes for those who get it. He's the goat. Alright, so let's go in here and hit... I need to sculpt up a goat head real quick. Yeah, I know, sculpt up a goat head real quick. Who says that? Let's ape end. I love saying ape end like that instead of a pen saying ape end. I don't know. Let's ape end ourselves a sphere. And then we shall start to work with said sphere. So I am always kind of, I've designed chimeras before, and I really think that it's best to design them with the extra heads going down the center. So, like, I'm going to end up turning the tail into the snake head, or the snake. So, we're going to do the goat right here. And I like the idea of having the three heads come down the middle, but they could turn and look different ways, obviously. And then that'll be for, I'm going to call this a lesser Chimera, and then the greater Chimera will have giant wings. And that's just going to be, it's going to be that. So, let's hop in here, get to it. Sculptress is on, symmetry is on. I'm going to start pushing and pulling on this sphere. And I'm going to do something a little different here today. I'm going to kind of build a profile like that. And then go to the sides and do that. Then smooth it, and that's going to get us very quickly closer to the kind of shape we need. Of course, in another window, I have my references for Das Goats. And I'll be popping over there from time to time to look at, let's see. I want it to be an evil goat, so I'm going to change what I'm looking at. So let's see. Okay, yeah, definitely more of a ram head kind of deal. Yeah, that works. I can have some references to look at real quick. And now let's grab the old clay buildup. I'm going to solo this. And very quickly rough in the major landmarks, major forms. Back my soundtrack down just a touch. I haven't mentioned this in a while, but anyone who, if you're watching and you dig the music you hear, that's actually my music that I produce, which you can find quite a bit of it on SoundCloud, although a lot of the stuff I play on here has never been shared with the public anywhere else. And if anyone has any thoughts or ideas on that, then talk to me, especially in the Discord. And we have anybody in the chat yet? Let's see. Oh, in the chat we have Sean and Gina. If one of you guys could grab a link, man, to the Discord, pop that in here, I'll pin it. You know what? I'll do that real quick. Let's just Discord channel invite, hit copy. There we go. Y'all can't see this in YouTube land, but now you're going to see the post get pinned. Here it is. Pin it, and then we post it, and then we go on it. Come on, you stinking turd. I don't know why. That was so weird. There was a weird lag in the chat for me using it here. So anyway, there we go. All right, now let's go back to Zbrush with my goat reference in hand. All right, so he's going to need some ears. And let's just use my trusty Mesh Extrude Pro. No, not that one. I want the other one. I want Mesh Project. Well, that's odd. Also odd. All right, let's go back to Mesh Extrude. One of these is going to work. There we go. That's what I wanted. There we go. Right. All right. We've extruded some ears from his head. Now it's time to dynamesh the old boy. Dynamesh. There we go. Alright. That. A little bit there. I hear laughter coming from my significant other. I wonder if she's in here somewhere. Let's see. All right, now let's look at our goatee McGoat. Oh. Right. Notchety pieces done here. That's a technical term, notchety pieces. Done in ears there. Okay. Now then, we want to start to carve out. Kind of flatten some stuff down the side here. Oh my god, I feel like I should have some music from Ghost playing their song Kiss the Go-Goat. a great song. It's funny. Kiss, kiss, goat. Come on, baby. Kiss, kiss, kiss the goat. Yep. I like Ghost. Anybody else listen to Ghost? I like them quite a bit. Ghost. The goat muzzle. We have a little bit of a crest up here. It seems to be where the horns come out of. I want to give him some nice big horn nubbies right there. And I want to build up some volume underneath here. There's a little chinny chin chin. And since this is for a monster, I feel like I should definitely go ahead and open up the mouth. Open up the mouth on the goat. Not so far back. Doot. And probably, I am going to open that far, but I probably don't need to really. Alright, like another reference of a goat with its mouth open. I love the way goats scream. It's hilarious. How far back? Yeah, their jaw actually goes back really far, so I'm going to open that. I should do it from back here. And I'm thinking the hinge, just general anatomy that I know, like comparative animal anatomy, the hinge is probably going to be right in here somewhere. So I can open that just a little bit. Did I lose my group there? Oh, I did. That's poop. So I'm not going to do a huge mouth cavity in here. Is going to a miniature. That's actually kind of something to avoid. So let's start cutting into this a little bit. going to monster this up here shortly. Still, okay, got a group in there. Boy, it's not a very clean group though. Alright, so now let's come in here and just select that, make a group out of it. And I'm going to go ahead and pull some gum sort of area down here. Really, I'm just going to pull a bunch of this down that I can pop teeth onto. Okay. And same thing right here. I'm going to give a little impression back there for a tongue because you're really not going to see it. It's going to be covered up by teeth. So this is all, again, yeah, this is stuff that you can do, shortcuts you can take and things when you're sculpting to go to minis. So it's nice. It's very liberating because usually my day-to-day work has to have like super clean topology, has to have, you know, super clean UVs, everything on it, all this kind of stuff. And this is liberating because I can just focus on the shape and making a really cool thing. You get a little bit of a break from all the technical garbage I have to deal with all the time. Right now it's a little cow-like. You can see where it needs to have this stuff pulled in. Create a much thinner profile. And let's push some eye spheres in here. Let's split those off. And I'm starting to do this little trick more and more where I'll have a copy of those that I'll do some cutting to and then use it to get quick volumes built up. You'll see here in just a second what I mean. So let's delete hidden on that. I'm around here to roughly a side view. And we're going to go grab a slice curve. We go here, here. Okay. I'll delete hidden on that. I'm going to come in and extrude all polygons. So I get some thickness on that. Get this little Pac-Man looking thing. Then I'll mirror and weld it. Okay. Then merge this down with it. And we'll Dynamesh it, and that'll be a nice smooth blend into each other. just a super fast, handy way to get really accurate eyelids put into something. Okay. Now let's make this just a little more sinister looking. Always have to keep in mind working on these that these are for miniatures, so I'm not. Sometimes I want to take them all the way out to like hyper detail, because some of these are also going to go to DAZ Studio, like a Chimera. Nah, I'm not going to take that to DAZ Studio. That one's going to stay entirely in here, I think. Okay. I'm going to confess, this actually came out way better than I thought it would this quick. Let's do that with a curve. Cool. Okay, I like that. Here we go. How we doing on time? Oh, nice. Wow. Feel pretty good about that. That's not bad for 25 minutes work so far. Cool. Oh, I feel pretty gosh darned good about that. I'll merge those down for a moment. Don't want that to be bigger than the lion's head. And we're going to put that right about there. And then we're going to split those back off. Trying to decide the way that I want to build this neck up out of the body. That's going to be a little tricksy. Okay. There we go. And I am going to keep these separate in here, I think. I want to rough this up and get a nice base on here for some hair. I think I'm going to add some more around here too. Give him a bit of a collar, a frill. Yeah, I'm going to pop over and check into the chat for a second. Let's keep riding this goat train this morning. All right, so a lot of the volume of that mouth is actually just going to go away here. I think most of it is. So that's going to make it way easier to print. And I'm going to have his teeth kind of cover each other. So it really won't even matter. come in here and grab a capsule. Okay. Dang it. All right. Okay. And we'll just duplicate that down there. And then we want to, there we go. All right, now I want to make some quick groups in here so I can kind of have a little better control over some of this. There we go. Okay. Come in here now and sculpt some gums in around those. I want that stuff to be visible because as a mini, it will look super, super cool. Be able to have those gums show up and get kind of a little red dry brush hit them, make them really pop. nice. Yeah, I'm digging that. Digging that. So now I'm just going to go in and bust in a few more details and things here and there. Punch up some of these forms so that they read a little bit more. Gives us a little bit more to dig into at the 32mm scale. Really happy with the way this reads right now. If I zoom out, look at him kind of small on my screen, I can get a good idea of what it's going to be like as a miniature. I think it's going to be really sweet. Let's smooth some of this out so I can do a little bit of texture work into it. Some nice big grooves here so it picks up and reads well as a mini with hair. So I've kind of learned from experience now that you have to be, they stand out better, they're easier to paint. So if I'm doing something that's for more of a large scale collectible, then I'll get real granular with it. But on a miniature, it's going to be much larger and much more geared towards, you know, what your eye can actually take in at that small scale, which isn't a whole lot. Now, even though this is symmetrical right now, whenever I get it all done, I'll almost always go in and add some strokes and things that will make things asymmetrical. You really don't want symmetry in something like this. It's fine to work with it to get your broad strokes in and to get a base together, but then when you're about to finish it out, you know, especially if you're posing it and you're getting it ready to go to actual print, you really want to add some asymmetry into that, just break it up. How are we doing on time? Okay, good. Good, looking good. I figured we probably would just get the one head done today. So this is the biggest, this is the most involved creature in this series yet. So I'm not at all surprised that it's you know, having to be a multi-part piece. Okay, now I want to do a little bit more in the ears, but not much, because at 32mm scale, a lot of that just gets lost. So no sense in doing it if people can't see it. Just a little bit there. Actually, it's about all I need. Okay. Oh, good. These still have a poly group to them. That's mighty nice. Alright, so I want to get some quick banding details into these horns. And so the way I'm going to do that is going to be super tricksy. Yeah, that's good. So I'll hide that stuff. Polygrouped it. Okay. Looks like I might need to do a little bit more right there. There we go. Let's see if I can do this with my Z modeler. I think my resolution is still low enough that I can use Z modeler and have it not completely crap out on me. Extrude polygroup all. I could be wrong. There we go. I'm just extruding that in like so. Then I'll polish it. And that's going to give us some nice ridges going around those horns that will read really, really well at the lower scale. So let's just sculptress off that little bit right there. Mirror and weld it. And there we have our goat head. I'll move it up a little bit and have that come more from between the shoulders. And then let's come down in here and do a little bit more sculpting. I'll kind of blend this in. Let's reduce resolution on some of that a little bit right there. And I'm just going to use a move brush to sort of move some of this in to where it starts to follow the anatomy, what's underneath it a little bit. That's going to be our way of kind of blending those together. Let's come back in here and touch that hair up a little bit. All right, so that is part 2 of our Chimera. concepts under my monster manual stuff. Cool. Alright, so I'm not going to do a turntable on this one yet. We're reserving the turntable on this guy until he's completely done. So we've left some room here that I can pull wings out of it to go alongside that head. And then the tail is going to end up curling around. I'm going to go ahead and do some of that right now just to get it started. Let's go ahead and delete that right off of there. So what's going to end up happening with the tail? Where'd I go? I'm going to have something like that come up out of there. Okay. And I can probably go ahead and just kind of push-pull a little bit of a snakehead shape out of that. Okay. I may actually dragonify it more, you know, 'cause it's supposed to be a serpent. Doesn't, you know, there's not really any particular kind of serpent that it has to be. I was leaning towards a viper. But then if I pulled some things like that out of it, I kind of like that. It's so hard for me to stop on something once I get started on it. I think I'm probably going to design this guy up so that he prints as a multi-part piece too. I don't want to try to print this as all one piece. I'll do it as multi-parts and then they'll weld together. I think that's a smarter way to do this. this is getting some blocking in place for the serpent part of this. I am gonna stop soonish. I kind of like the idea of the serpent here not being quite as realistic. It just gives me some more freedom with the design. This will definitely get a tongue sticking out though, that's for sure. Here I can just kind of play with shapes and patterns and things, something just interesting looking. Sometimes just doodling out these surface patterns is so satisfying. Those will make some interesting looking bits to be painted right there. Sure. A little large, not gonna lie, a little large on that. All right. That is where I'm going to call it a day. And get that part blocked in pretty well. I may not do the whole greater than, lesser than thing. I may go ahead and add wings to this baby and let it be just a big old crazy monstrosity. Oh, it'll be really fun to see this guy once he gets all posed and stuff. So, gotta stretch. How we doing on time? Perfect. 10:05 on the dot. All right, 10:05 on the dot. Lovely. See somebody new popped into the Discord, Solomon. So I'll give a little howdy there. And I am, we're going to wrap this up. So, all right, folks. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you all for joining us again for another one of these dealios. You can tell I was slinging it because my hat got skewed. All right. So, as always, remember, like, share, subscribe, ring-a-ding-ding, a little bell. And we'll catch you all tomorrow. I think tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow 9:05 we'll be back, and we'll finish up this base sculpt. I mean, this is really a neutral pose sculpt on this Chimera, so we'll finish up the neutral pose on this guy tomorrow. I will probably do all the bits and bobs of getting him set up and rigged and set up so that I can pose him and do different stuff with him off stream, and then maybe have one stream where we kind of backtrack through that and I show you guys some stuff with it. But that's like tedious stuff that doesn't really fit inside a morning stream, so I'll probably end up dedicating a whole day to this guy at some point. So anyway, thanks again for watching, hanging out, everybody in the chat. Let's see, because I've been a little lax about the chat this morning. So we had Heinzie back, nice to see you. We have Gina and Sean as always. Love seeing you guys there. So that's going to wrap it up. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Remember, as always, go to 6s1.com and sign up for the newsletter. So till then, I'm out.